Welcome everyone to X Games 2021. We are nestled in the hills of Southern California, just outside the city of Ramona. We are at Axel Hodges' compound, known as Slayground, as it plays host to Moto X Best Whip. Hi everybody, I'm Jimmy Coleman, standing alongside Mike Mason. We've got Jack Matrani out in the field, and well, as we come into Moto X Best Whip, we've got a couple of defending gold medalists. Let's talk about Jared McNeil, who got the win at X Games Norway in 2019.
Yeah, Jared really put himself on the map with Best Whip. You know, he had the turn downs, the seat bounce whips. You know, he had this event on lock there for a bit. Nothing but style out of the kid. Awesome dude to hang around. And yeah, right here you can see the huge turn down that led to the gold medal in Norway.
So he gets the win in Norway. However, it was Tyler Berriman that would walk out of Minneapolis in 2019 with the gold. Let's look at a side-by-side comparison. Talk about what it's going to take to win gold here at Axel Hodges.
Yeah, so right there I just talked about Jared doing the turn down whip, but if you look on the left of the screen here, you can see Tyler Berriman going more with the seat bounce whip, the more traditional whip. This is really just going to come down to what the judges want to see.
Yeah, it all comes down to style and preference, and there's a couple of different ways to do this. I mean, we've seen so much fluctuation in the results over the past. However, talking about Jared McNeil again, I mean, he's chasing some history out here. If he's able to get a gold at this, he will actually surpass Travis Pastrana for most gold medals in a Moto X discipline. Taking a look at Axel Hodges right there. He's our host here for all things Moto X out here at X Games 2021. This is his compound, the Slayground, and what a compound it is, Mike Mason.
Oh, it's beautiful out here. This is, you know, every rider's dream to see all the stuff that he's built out here. And, you know, way to go for Axel. You know, buying this property, making this happen for X Games, having us out here. I'm stoked to watch him ride. I
mean, look at these views out here. I mean, the drive up here was absolutely insane, and it's 82 degrees out here. It's a little bit warm out here. The wind's picked up a little bit here in this part of the morning, so let's talk about that and how that's going to play a factor into this event, Mike.
Yeah, wind is definitely the rider's least favorite thing ever, especially when you're going to come into whip contests where you're already getting the bike sideways. You don't want that side gust. Watching practice yesterday, fortunate enough, it seemed like it was a tailwind for the most part, so it shouldn't really affect these guys.
So taking a look at Tom Parsons here, who is going to start us off. X Games 2021 will be his 9th appearance. He owns 3 X Games Best Whip medals. He got a gold in Austin in 2014, a silver in 2015, and he got himself a silver in Minneapolis in 2019. So this one's going to be a little bit different. It's a jam session here. You've got 7 minutes here, and this is the elimination portion of things. So we cut from this field down to 4, and then we have the final jam session.
Yeah, and whip's such a weird event because it is a jam. You're just riding with your boys. You're having fun. You're trying to throw your biggest whip, but then there is a medal on the line and some prize money, you know. So there's that fine line of being competitive but still having some fun with the guys.
All right, so here we go. Moto X Best Whip is underway here as we started off with Tom Parsons in his first attempt. Check out the style.
Yeah, huge seat bounce whip to start it. Tom's got one of the better styles out here for sure. Hitting the 105, that's new this year for Best Whip. The guys have the option of the regular 75 or the 105, and it's just going to be cool to watch how these guys diagnose it all.
So we're going to roll through this thing pretty quick here. Again, it's a 7-minute jam session as we welcome in Josh Sheehan right here, a former freestyle gold medalist from 2016.
Yeah, Sheehan just getting done riding freestyle, probably still trying to catch his breath, going out there. Good traditional whip, good turn down, what we talked about in the intro right there. You know, you have 2 styles of whips. There's actually 3 styles, but Sheehan just kind of gave us both in one jump there.
So Japanese rider in the lineup here, 31 years old out of Osaka. This is Genki Watanabe. This is his 5th X Games appearance.
Yeah, Wanky's got such a fluid style. You know, he's got the seat bounce right here. I'm imagining the turn down. Just carving the ramp so hard, and you got to be careful with those ones because they can overcorrect on you a little bit. And you know, right there, landing 2 smooth flips. The judges are going to like, or whips, I'm sorry. The judges will like that.
Genki was your best whip silver medalist at X Games Norway in 2019. Making his 6th X Games appearance out here in 2021. This is Palmdale, California's Colby Raha.
Yeah, Colby, you know, grew up out in the desert, riding BMX dirt, riding in the hills, and you know, as you can see, smooth style, opting for the 105 again. I'm really curious to see what the judges do there, if they like the 105 better or if they just want to see a big whip no matter which ramp it is.
So looking at Moto X medals, most all time, got Jared McNeil there with 15 overall total medals. Jared, your winner, we talked about him at the top of the show. He walked out at X Games Norway in 2019 with that gold medal.
Yeah, and I want to go back to what I was talking about in freestyle as well, is with these guys, this is Jared's first event of the day, obviously, and, you know, to go out and start with a couple whips, he's got 6 minutes left to go through them. I think that's a little easier than some of the guys that were dropping in to do kiss-of-death backflips and double backs, you know, so these guys kind of get a little warm-up run, and then they can really dig into it.
Well, the man of the hour, Axel Hodges, we're in his backyard, basically, out here for X Games 2021 for all things Moto X. Let's see what he puts down here, his first run in Moto X Best Whip.
Yeah, going with a huge turn up off the 105. I think that's what that ramp was built for. The turn-ups look awesome. These guys were carving them big yesterday, and once again, starting off with 2 good whips.
And then we round out the order here with your Minneapolis 2019 Best Whip gold medalist. This is Tyler Berriman from just up the road out of Murrieta, California.
Yeah, these guys are going for it. As you can see, Axel and Tyler there with the turn-up style of whips. Like I said, that ramp just fits them. It gives them so much more time. They can kind of get under it, almost like they're out in the sand dunes or riding out in the natural terrain.
Here we go, about 2 minutes down with 5 minutes left to go. Again, it's an opening 7-minute jam session here, and only the top 4 are going to move into the finals as we bring back in Tom Parsons.
Yeah, and you'll notice a lot of these guys panic revving, and that's not a danger panic rev. That's more of just trying to bring the bike back around, kind of using the momentum with the engine to get them back to straight. Because I mean, they're sideways till about 90% of the way when they're about to land, you know.
Josh Sheehan back in for attempt number 2. You saw that stat right there, a total of 12 overall Moto X medals to his X Games history. So about 4.5 left to go. We take another look at Genki here. Again, this is the elimination round for Moto X Best Whip. Only the top 4 are moving on into that final, Mike.
Yeah, they're going to be top 4, and you know, I think Wanky has a good shot at it here. You can see he's got both whips going for him. Like I said, I'm not sure the judging criteria. It's kind of going to be user choice on what they want to pick, but I think Wanky's looking pretty solid right now.
Well, he owns 2 Best Whip silver medals. He got one in Norway and one in 2018 in Minneapolis. Here comes Colby Raha once again.
You can hear him getting right back on the gas to get on the 105 ramp. These guys, I said it in freestyle broadcast, these guys have to click third actually over that first jump. So you got to whip, click third, and then just pretty much lay it on to get up that 105.
So it's Genki Watanabe sitting in that top spot, followed by Tyler Berriman and Josh Sheehan and Tom Parsons. That's the cutoff spot right there. So that is the bubble as of right now, as we are at 3.5 minutes and some change here left to go in the elimination round.
Yeah, Jared doing a huge turn down right there. That's kind of what we broke down what took the gold in Norway. So he's going for it again. I know he wants a medal here, and he's looking solid.
Jared McNeil sitting in that bubble spot as of right now. So Genki's still in that top spot, followed by Tyler Berriman, Josh Sheehan, and now Jared McNeil. So that bumps Tom Parsons out. He sits in number 5 position with still 3 minutes to go here in the elimination round.
Tyler opting for the 75 here. Do a little mix up, see what he likes better. I want to go back to that camera angle actually on Axel Hodges, the turn up over the 105. You can actually see how big that jump is. They're actually jumping over the quarter pipe lip. So, I mean, there's a lot of danger involved in that jump, and it's got to be pretty intimidating looking for the boys.
All right, so we go back up to the top of the order here into round at number 3. Parsons was looking at a spot, making it, and he finds himself now in that number 6 spot here with 2.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, kind of getting down to crunch time for the boys here. 2.5 minutes. You know, these guys got to start really doing what they want to do to get inside that top 4. Tom, always a solid rider, and I think he's got a good shot at it.
Well, Josh Sheehan is glad to be back on the world stage here at X Games. Let's hear more from him in this Monster Energy athlete profile.
I'm Josh Sheehan from Donnybrook, Western Australia, and I'm doing Best Trick, Freestyle, and Best Whip. Yeah, so I started 20, I was gearing up for a big couple of months shows, nitro touring, and just got back from Berlin when it all hit. Lockdown here was awesome because I just stayed here in the shed, worked on some cars, on small projects, fixed the truck canopies, swapped over the canopy, and yeah, helped the old man on the farm a bit. Pretty excited to get the call up this year for X Games. It's been a while. The last competition was March a year and a bit ago, so good to have a bit of drive motivation, and hopefully the Aussies can bring home a couple more medals for Aussie.
mentioned in his last run, that medal count that he's got, he does not have any best whip medals. He's got 4 in freestyle, he's got 2 in quarter pipe, and he's got 5 in best trick, but none in whip. And as of right now, he finds himself on the outside of that 4-cut looking in, sits in the number 5 position here with just a little bit of time left on the clock in the elimination round.
Yeah, Josh, he's such a solid guy. You can see he's always smooth, always confident. Great whips as far as my perspective, but you got to see what these guys are doing. You know, they're all pushing the envelope, getting upside down, getting the bikes backwards. So just needs a little more if he wants to get into that top 4.
All right, so we're working our way towards 2 minutes here. Your current leader is Genki Watanabe sitting in that top spot as of right now, so looking good going into that final round.
Yeah, and that's the turn down we've been talking about. You can just see the commitment. As he gets right to the top of the ramp, he's pretty much already looking backwards, turning the bars in, you know, pretty much facing backwards halfway through that jump.
We are under 2 minutes to go here as we bring back in Colby Raha.
Yeah, you know, Colby's one of our favorites in quarter pipe later in the day, so this might just be a good warm-up for him, kind of get him on the bike, get the blood pumping a little bit, and send it when it's time for a quarter pipe.
So it's Axel Hodges sitting on that bubble spot as of right now. Jared McNeil on the outside looking in as well. He's in that 6th spot here.
So we saw the turn down out of Jared over the 75, and you can see the commitment and just, you know, turning into that thing. But then when you get to the 105, the bike starts to get a little lighter, a little more floaty. So you could tell he was a little more reserved on the 105-footer.
Axel Hodges is in X Games mode, and we are trending on TikTok. To all of our fans out there, if you want to join in, you can check out the X Games mode hashtag challenge and show us what happens when you're on X Games mode. So taking a look at some action here from Axel, getting some practice in out here at this sleigh ground facility that is host to all things Moto X out here at X Games 2021. And Axel's in that bubble spot right now, looking to transfer on into that final, Mike.
Yeah, I think Axel should be in the final. He's had a couple good whips. I think he just gets one good pop off this 105. There you go, the good traditional seat bounce whip. Gonna go to the 75 actually. A nice turn down. I like the style of these guys. They're using that first ramp as kind of the seat bounce, and then, you know, the turn down, you need to get into it a little more, so you're not rolling right into a ramp. You kind of have a little setup time.
So your 2019 Minneapolis Best Whip gold medalist Tyler Berriman, he's in as of right now, sitting in that number 2 spot with a little bit of time left on the clock. It looks like we may get another round of attempts here for everybody. Try to make your case to get into that final round of 4.
Yeah, Tyler was so much style. You know, he has a huge moto background, and you can tell when he rolls in to do that first ramp, he's kind of real quiet on the throttle. Seat bounces, uses that throttle to get the bike upside down, and then on the 105, just using every bit of that machine and getting her on the turn up.
So with a little bit of time left on the clock, we're back up to the top of the order looking at Tom Parsons. So it looks like everybody's going to get one more go at it here. So again, it's a 4-cut going into this final. This is a 7-minute jam session as of right now, but this is only the elimination round. We go into one more final round here with the top 4 moving on to fight it out for gold here. One more look here at Tom Parsons.
Yeah, such cool angles of the whips. You can really, when you pan out like that, you can really see how upside down he's getting. Whipping it both ways there, smooth landings. I mean, Tom's on point right now. This is kind of his event he's known for, so he definitely wants to make a showing.
So he's going to bump up into that number 3 spot. Josh Sheehan in his final attempt here.
Good turn down out of Sheeny right there. That was a good way to end it. He'll be happy. You know, he had a good freestyle run, some good whips there. He's got to be stoked on this week so far. Cool slow-mo right there. Kind of see how his body works with the bike. And you know, like I said, you can't hear it in the slow-mo, but he's definitely using that throttle to get it back straight and line up for the next jump.
So time clock has fully elapsed here. We are going to finish out the run order here. You see he's got 2 X Games medals. Both of those are silver in this event. I mentioned before, 2018 Minneapolis and Norway, 2019 Genki Watanabe out of Japan.
And just using up every inch of that landing. That, like I said, the commitment that it takes to carve off the ramp, look backwards, trust that you're going to spot your landing good. I mean, he's going for it. You know, I know he rides a lot. He trains with Twitch and the boys when he's out here in Southern California, and you know, it shows, man. He's riding awesome. Good shot right there, going over actually the quarter pipe landing, facing it, and, you know, turn down, getting that bike back straight, hitting that landing.
So we are down to our final 4 here. You see Colby Raha has 8 X Games medals total, none of them here in Best Whip. He is in that number 7 spot. trying to make his case here to transfer on to make it into that Final Four.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The top 4 guys, man, they really threw it down. Like I said, Colby, this is a perfect warm-up for him. Get the blood flowing, get some seat time, get out there for quarter pipe, show us what he's got.
Yeah, he's got 2 real Moto gold, 2 step-up bronze, and a quarter pipe high air gold, the silver and a bronze in that event. So we're down to our final 3. We talked about him at the top of the show. Your defending Norway gold medalist from 2019, Jared McNeil, finds himself on the outside looking in right now.
And it just shows how much this discipline has kind of evolved. You know, I mean, he won it for so many years, just won it in 2019, and now he's sitting on the bubble, might not get into the final.
So it's Genki sitting in that top spot. Tom Parsons, Tyler Berryman, and Axel Hodges with 2. We're down to our final 2 left to go. We'll see if these standings change up at all moving in. It looks like Jared's not going to get any bumps up into 5th, but here we go. Axel Hodges sitting on that bubble spot as of right now. His last attempt here.
Yeah, I like Axel mixing it up. You know, a lot of these guys mix it up to hit the 75, the 105. That's kind of cool because you can figure out what you're comfortable with. It looks like Axel most likely will be in the final, so kind of fine-tune it and go with what you like in the final.
Taking another look here in slow-mo to fully appreciate what they're doing here in Best Whip.
Yeah, and I love the back camera angle whenever these guys do the turn downs because they're pretty much staring right at the camera. Awesome view.
So Tyler Berryman's going to take us out of the run order here in the elimination round. He is already in, so it looks like our field of 4 is set.
Yeah, probably just using this run. He knows he's got a bunch more whips to go, and don't want to use them all up in the prelims when you're already in. Save it for the final.
Yeah, you still got another jam session to go here. Save it. Now you got to duke it out for the medal round here. So Genki Watanabe going to walk out of here in the top spot here in the elimination round, followed by Parsons, Berryman, and Hodges. That is your 1 through 4 as we take another look at Tyler. Like, just look at that. That's insane.
I know, it's funny because for Tyler's standards, we're like, oh, that was pretty good. But, you know, that's huge to any normal moto rider out there.
Sounds funny to downplay it a little bit, but I mean, so those are your top 4 moving on into the final round. But the big story right now, Jared McNeil, your Norway gold medalist who we showcased at the beginning of this, he does not get in. He bumped up to 5th, but it wasn't enough to crack that top 4 there, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this sport's evolving, this discipline's evolving, and, you know, they're going for it. And, you know, unfortunately, Jared was on the outside looking in.
Well, we have our top 4 set. We have the final round still to go before we hand out a gold medal. We'll have the Moto X Best Whip Final when we come back to Axel Hodges' Sleigh Ground.
It's hot.
Welcome back, everyone. X Games 2021 just outside of Ramona, California here at Axel Hodges' Sleigh Ground compound here. We're in the middle of Moto X Best Whip. So we have narrowed the field down here from 7. We had a 7-minute jam session. We cut the field down to our final 4. So We've got one part of the work out of the way here, so now they get to re-rack the clock here and do it all over again as we get set to hand out some X Games hardware. Jimmy Coleman up here in the booth alongside Mike Mason, Jack Matrani out in the field. We've got a special guest in the mix now. We are joined in the booth right now, Mike, by none other than Jeremy Twitch Stenberg to help call us through the action out here. Jeremy, welcome to the booth out here, and welcome to the party. Glad to have you in the booth. So what kind of things can we hope to see here in this final 4 minutes?
Well, it's going to be a lot of craziness going down right now. As you see, they went down to the top 4, so these are obviously the baddest dudes out here right now, and they don't want to get beat by each other.
And, you know, we talked about this earlier, one of the big stories, Jared McNeil, your winner in Norway in 2019, he was on the bubble, didn't make it in. He had to settle for 5th, didn't make it into the final round.
This is what I was like interested in, is like, okay, what's the format going to be? There's 2 jumps in a row. You can go 65, 75, or 105. What are they judging better? Is it the 2 of both? And as you can see, like, most of these dudes are used to the 175-foot jump. When you get out here and you have this many options, I was curious how the judging was going to be, and you can see it's favoring whoever's doing good whips on both jumps.
Well, taking a look back at the elimination round, let's talk about some of the highlights and how we got down to our final 4.
Yeah, this is Wanky right here. You know, that's just the start jump, good seat bounce whip coming in. Hitting the 75 a lot, doing huge turndowns on. Like I said, turndowns are pure commitment. You got to be facing backwards, kind of looking back at where you just took off from. Right there, back to the traditional seat bounce. These guys are pushing it. You know, they want medals, Twitch.
No, they all do, and that's what's cool. Is like all these dudes right here ride together on a daily basis. So it's like every time I sit here and watch these dudes ride, it's like I'm sitting there watching X Games, because they're every time they ride are trying to get bigger whips than each other.
The ultimate ego sport, if you will.
It never goes away, even at home at practice.
So which whip do you prefer, Twitch? You've done this many years. You've won it a bunch. Do you like the traditional seat bounce, or would you rather see turn down?
I like the turn up. I like seeing a good seat bounce on the first ramp and then a turn up on the second one, because turn ups are really hard. You've tried them before. Like, they're so easy to get stuck on.
Yep.
Well, that's your final 4 and a look back at how we got here. We still have to hand out some medals here. We'll have the Moto X Best Whip Final when we come back to Axel Hodges' Slayground.
What are you smirking at over here, Colby?
Dude, check out this spicy little nug I just got.
Yeah, I mean, pretty spicy for sure. I just got something spicier.
What do you got, Jack?
If you say so. Boom.
Yeah, that's cheating, bud.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the trick was super spicy, super legit, you know, no disrespect, but
I get it, Jack. I get it.
we're good?
Yeah.
That was the Wendy's look-in. Now let's get back to some Moto X Best Whip. Before we went to the break, we teased our top 4. We talked about how we got here, but now it is time to reset the jam clock, and we are set to hand out some medals here. Again, Jimmy Coleman in the booth alongside Mike Mason. We've got Jeremy Twitch Stenberg who's going to join us for this one, and well, this one's going to be extremely interesting to watch, boys. We're going to run them in reverse order as to how they qualified. Our top 4, again, if you're just joining us, we got Axel Hodges, Tyler Berriman, Tom Parsons, and Genki Watanabe gets to run last in the run order here.
Yeah, and these guys got a good little warm-up there, threw some whips, but this is where the medals are going to count. I can see these guys probably getting pretty turned up, pretty backwards, pretty upside down. We're going to have to wait and see.
You always know with these dudes, the last 2 minutes of the run is the craziest jumps because they can. And this is what's hard is they don't see the leaderboard right now. It's not like a normal stadium where you can see what place you're in. So these guys are just going for it every single time just off of watching each other.
Yeah, they don't see any of that ranking. I mean, we get the luxury of that scoring monitor right there, so we can see the names jumping around quite a bit, but they have absolutely no idea what's going on. I could see our host and sideline reporter, Jack Matrani, milling around down there. Let's check in with him. Jack, you ready to talk to Axel down there, it looks like?
I'm ready, man. We're hanging out here on Axel's bike. Axel, first question, what's it like having X Games here on the property?
It's insane to have all these guys out here, all the freestyle guys doing the crazy tricks, and I don't know. I don't have any words for it. It's just insane.
Well, thank you so much for hosting us, and you made it through Best Whip to the finals. What are you thinking for the finals? Is it time to just throw down, go all out?
Yeah, I just got to hope for that good flick on one of the 4 jumps we get. Sometimes it's hard to get in the zone sometimes, but just got to turn it off mentally and give her a nice lean.
Send it, man. We're rooting for you. And as Devo once said, whip it good. You got this.
You got to wonder what the neighbors are thinking too. They're like, why are all these satellite trucks driving up and down the road coming out here in the middle of nowhere? But man, it is surreal out here. Axel, he owns 3 Best Whip medals. He's got a silver and 2 bronze, but no gold. Be quite the feat if he's able to get one of those out here today on his own property. However, Tyler Berriman, Tom Parsons, and Genki Watanabe are going to have something to say about it. So it's a 4-minute jam session. And again, fellas, let's recap it. Let's talk about the different kinds of whips that we can see out here today.
I actually wanted to, before we get into that, I wanted to pick Twitch's brain because, you know, Axel right there saying he's got to get into the zone, he's got to get that good flick off the ramp. Twitch, when we did freestyle, it was 90 seconds. You drop in, you have 90 seconds of jump after jump, flip after flip. But with whip, these guys are doing 2 jumps, come back, sit for a minute or so, you know, go back in. Is that easier or more difficult?
I feel like it's harder. When you have a 90-second run, like your blood's flowing, you're going. You know, like when you get held for TV before you drop in, it just takes your mind off of it. So it's like the quicker they can get back and go, the better. But with having to wait, it kind of throws you a little off. So I see why it's hard for him to get into the zone.
So we are into the final here for Moto X Best Whip. We've narrowed it down to these 4 finalists. You're taking a look at Axel Hodges right here. It is a 4-minute jam session in our quest for gold out here in Moto X Best Whip. And here comes Tyler Berriman, your 2019 X Games Minneapolis Best Whip gold medalist.
Yeah, I just feel like whips are one of those things too. It's the pop off the ramp, so crucial. You know, a regular right side up trick, freestyle trick, or a flip, you can kind of compromise with it a little bit, but whips, it's just you need to get that pop off the ramp to get the bike turning the way you want it.
Yeah, the boys are going for it.
Yeah, not touch and landing right there. I'd say that's going for it. That's some adrenaline taking over. TB's wanting it.
That's wanting to get that little bit bigger of a whip.
Yep.
Tom Parsons, he's got 3 X Games medals. All of them are in Best Whip. He's the owner of a gold and 2 silver. You don't get scores here. It's overall impression with the judges, so you'll see the names moving around on the leaderboard here. It's a live ranking, if you will.
I'm going to go out on a limb, too, and say the judges got their work cut out for them. All 4 of these guys, you know, they all have their own unique style. I think that's why Best Whip's so cool, is there's no 2 guys that look the same, you know, and so the judges are really going to have to break down these whips, get these slow-mos like this to really understand what's going on.
Yeah, and literally any one of these 4 can win at any moment right now.
I think that's always the plus to Best Whip, you know, is it's kind of unpredictable. It's, you know, Jared McNeil just went from winning however many medals over the years to not making a final.
Yeah, and if you think about it right now, every bike in the final is a 4-stroke. It's so much harder to ride these jumps on a 2-stroke. We're at elevation here. The jumps are a little bit bigger. The first one's smaller. It's not like your normal 75-foot jump.
So that run put Tom Parsons in the top spot, but this was your top qualifier coming out of the elimination round. Genki Watanabe, 2-time whip medalist.
And I know Twitch has spent a lot of time with Wanky. You know, how is he feeling coming in this? Is he
lives with me. I see him in a jacuzzi every morning. I went out this morning at 6 o'clock to let the pig out, and he's in the jacuzzi saying he's the body maintenance crew. But he's been feeling good lately, man. He's been riding a lot. He's been working at the shop every day with us. So it's like he'll go ride in the morning and then come work the rest of the day, or come work in the morning and then ride at night.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good to hear. It's showing, too. That was a huge turn down right there.
Go back up to the top of the order with Axel Hodges. Yankee was at the top spot for most of that elimination round. At the end of his first round here, he finds himself in that number 3 position.
Oh.
Awesome angle right there from the drone. That's the turn up Twitch was talking about earlier. You kind of pop off the ramp, almost reverse whip, get that front end up. And yeah, it looks awesome off the 105. I definitely think that jump was built for that.
So we're under 2 minutes, so we're halfway through here. It's Parsons, Berriman, Watanabe, your 1, 2, 3 as we bring back in Tyler Berriman.
So Twitch, do you think these guys are sitting up on the roll and kind of studying each other's whips and knowing that, hey, I've got to do this bigger, or are they kind of in their zone, you know, looking at their bar pad, just trying to think about their own whip?
I think they pretty much already know what they need to do. They're out there just doing it for themselves right now. When you try to worry about everybody else, that's when you mess up.
That's why I didn't go far in this sport.
So your current leader with just under a minute and a half left to go here in the jam session. It's a 4-minute jam session clock in this final round.
That was huge.
So I know back in the day this was all fan judging. It was basically voted in. If you had to vote right now, who's your pick?
If I had to vote right now, without seeing the rest of the people's runs, I'd say Tom, Bierman, Wanky, Axel.
Can't argue that. That's
Basically how it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Winky in for attempt number 2 here as we hit the 1 minute mark here at Moto X Best Whip. Look at that follow cam shot. That was insane with the drone.
Yeah, back to what I was saying earlier, that's always the best camera angle for a turn down because, like I said, he's basically carving that ramp. You can see the carve off the ramp, and then he's facing us, looking straight at us, 180, and then still has to bring the bike back to the landing.
Yeah, I feel like every whip by far looks the best from the back.
Yep.
That'll bump him up with 1 spot. That got him out of bronze and put him in a silver spot, but with 30 seconds left to go, this looks like it's going to be the final round for everybody. Well, Axel Hodges on the outside of that podium as of right now, so this could possibly be the last case for him to try to grab that medal.
I will say, too, talking with Axel yesterday after practice, man, he spent a lot of time and energy building this course for these guys and getting this thing all set up, you know, so I'm sure he's having fun out there with the boys. He gets to ride his home pad with, you know, all his best friends, do whips, and, I mean, he's doing huge whips. I'm just validating that he put in a lot of work to make this course happen for these guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Right there going over the quarter pipe landing. That's such an intimidating feel. I mean, the jump's the same. It's 75 feet, but you're looking at that quarter pipe landing, and it gets the butterflies going a little bit.
Well, that looks like it's not going to be enough to jump him into podium contention. So Parsons, Watanabe, and Berriman going to walk out of here with some medals. The question is, which ones are they going to roll away from the sleigh ground with here in Moto X Best Whip?
So much style out of Tyler. You know, it's so fun to watch these guys. I was never much for whipping. Don't ask me why. I just couldn't figure it out. But watching these guys, it's literally like there's WD-40 on the ramp when they take off. You know, just sliding the bike out from under them. So much style.
Tom's like the silent sleeper with style, dude.
He is. He really is. You know, out in the hills, he's always hitting big stuff, doing these same whips off natural terrain jumps, and you know, he definitely deserves to be in this final.
He's so smooth sometimes, I feel like it hurts him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Gotta use that throttle a little more, yank that head around a little bit, make it look like he's just trying, but yeah.
His is just effortless, man. It's so smooth. It's so cool to watch.
Yeah.
So even though the time clock has run out, sounds like we're going to go into 1 more round here. So everyone's going to get 1 more attempt at it, I'm being told here, as we look at Genki Watanabe once again.
Huge.
Massive turn down. The only thing I would say is, you know, some of these guys had a little more variety. I know variety doesn't matter, it's overall impression, but I'm sure the judges are looking at like the big turn up off the 105 as well as the turn down on the 75.
Well, and that's why I kept telling the Wanky too. I'm like, dude, you need to hit the 105. Like, you need to have that variety in there. And he's like, I have no style. No style, dude. No style, I don't do.
At least he's honest about it.
Yeah.
So now we're into the 4th and final round here. Last go around for Axel Hodges. Again, Tom Parsons sitting in that top spot here in this Best Whip final as of right now.
I really feel like Axel not boosting his normal turn-ups on the 105 are really hurting him right now.
Yeah, I think that's Axel. What he's known for, you know, is his huge turn-ups. But like I said, I mean, I can't imagine the amount of energy he spent over the last month getting this place dialed.
No,
you know?
he was out here being water boy. I told him, I'm like, dude, come ride. He's like, oh, I'm watering right now. I'm like, let X Games do that.
Don't you have people for that?
Yeah, it's your place.
I like it. Twitch doing the time management for the riders out here.
Ooh, that's close.
Getting close to that ramp there.
Ooh, the leaderboard has changed.
Oh, Genki's at the top spot there. So Axel not going to get into medal contention, but how about Genki? He was in that top spot in the elimination round, and here in the last round, he finds himself in that top spot, or third run. I guess it's third run. He still gets 1 more run to go. The last attempt here for Tom Parsons.
Yeah, great showing by Tom. You know, like I said, he had a little bit of everything on the whips, kind of a variety, turn-ups, turn-downs, 105, 75. I mean, he gave the judges a lot to look at in this whip contest.
So being the last guy to go in the rotation, it looks like this is going to be a glory lap here for Genki Watanabe because his name's still in that #1 spot on the list here.
Well, if he stays in #1, Twitch, you gonna up the rent?
He actually lives with me for free, and I pay him, and we pay him to work for us, so he's going to have to start paying us something, right?
Yeah.
So taking a look at some highlights here, just waiting for the final results to come in here. Take another look at Wanky here in this last run.
Just so much commitment from all these boys off the ramp. You know, once you hit that ramp, like right there, you can see he's already dipping the shoulder at the top of the ramp, turning it backwards, spotting his landing there, getting the bike back nice and straight.
So pumped for Wanky, too. Like, not a lot of people know. Like, he almost lost his leg at Monster Cup Vegas 2 years ago, and now he's out here winning medals again.
Yeah. That's persevering through it all. I would probably quit.
Yes.
I mean, I quit and I didn't even get hurt.
I love that these dudes have no clue what place they're in right now.
Yeah.
So just waiting for the reveal here.
And this is what I like about Whip is these guys all look stoked, you know.
So when it's all said and done, it looks like it's going to be Tom Parsons that walks out of here with that gold medal. And Genki's going to have to settle for silver there, and Tyler Behrman getting the bronze.
Yeah, that's up to the judges. Like I said, it's overall impression. These guys, you know, like I said earlier, Tom had a lot of variety. He gave the judges a lot. Wanky maybe just only kind of sticking to one line might have hurt him, but these guys all killed it, man. You got to be stoked with medals. Got to be stoked with top 4, even Axel being in this thing.
So taking another look here, Tom Parsons is going to add another Best Whip gold medal to his trophy case. Let's send it down right now to Jack Matrani with our winner.
I'm here with Tom Parsons, who's in disbelief. It's been since 2014 since your last gold. What did it take to get it done today?
Dude, it just keeps getting gnarlier and gnarlier in Best Whip. Like, people don't even understand how good all these guys are. And 2 X Games ago, I was riding with a thumb throttle because my wrist, I couldn't use a regular throttle. And I was just out here just because I love to be here. I couldn't do good whips or nothing. And then last year, me and Tyler battled for gold. I got second. Now I got it. Okay.
How good does it feel to have that gold medal back around your neck, man? Dude. When they put it on, you just looked in complete shock, in utter awe.
Oh, I thought Wanky won.
Exactly.
I was like, no way, what?
Well, congratulations, Tom Parsons. Welcome back to the top. Welcome back to X Games.
Holy.
Major congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that makes it a total of 4 Best Whip medals for Tom Parsons, 2 gold and 2 silver overall.
Yeah, great job out of Tom. All these guys earned it. They all rode so good. I mean, Twitch, you rode Best Whip 10 years ago, and I'm sure you've seen so much progression out of these guys.
Oh, it's crazy the amount, like, how big these guys are whipping it now. It's insane. Like, I'm glad I'm up here watching it with you guys.
Not a bad seat, huh?
Not at all.
Yeah, so, I mean, he was shocked at the end. I mean, it still showed Genki on the top of the leaderboard there in our scoring monitor. So when it's all said and done here at the end of the Best Whip final, the judges say it's Tom Parsons walking out of here with the gold. Your final thoughts, fellas, as we say goodbye.
The boys killed it. It was cool to see the 105 added into Best Whip, some good turn-ups, and Twitch.
It was cool. I was stoked. All the boys that should have been in the top